man.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to
Welcome to Gay.
Despacito.
I hate you.
Dab.
Stop! You aren't funny.
I'm absolutely hilarious.
Hilarious at being unfunny.
Do you want to start reading now?
Yes.
Oh, it crashed. Reload the fucking page, you cunt. My browser is trying to block this cursed image.
Nice.
I think I need to open a new tab.
Oh my gosh, this video is already going strong.
I know. It's perfect already.
It won't even let you access the site. It knows how bad it is.
Yay, it's finally working.
Why is that yay?
It's not. Okay, let's go. Let's get ready, boys. Gotta drink my water.
Is it bleach? Because I want some.
No, it's called water. I think you should try it sometime.
I don't know what that is.
Anyways, here it is. Lucario X Trainer.
The Pokemon Lemon series.
Yes.
This is a series. Netflix, you have a challenger.
Let's start. The trainer, a young female, watched aghast as her small little eye glowed. Her opponent gaped similarly as his own Pokemon backed away in fear.
Oof!
One more surge of light blazed through the arena, or area, before fading, showing a new form, larger than its old self. His penis became the big penis.
Excuse me, what?
In a daze, the trainer blinked a few times before grinning, making eye contact with her Pokemon, now Lucario with not a capitalized L, before thrusting her hand out and shouting, "Lie, use close combat. Go, use your CQC capabilities.
Ronan, use a revolver.
Shoot, self.
Put it in your mouth.
Use skill.
Fire!
Use skill, Russian roulette with the full chamber. Guare. Lucario growled, flipping and disappearing in and out of the smoke with a series of untraceable movements. When was there smoke?
What is this, Hunt Down the Freeman?
Disappearing in and out of the smoke with a series of untraceable...
I'm just imagining this is like a Hunt Down the Freeman cutscene, like, it's all like low graphics, then all of a sudden it just cuts to this. It took it down!
This is the best one yet, I can tell. With a series of untraceable movements until he was nose to nose with his opposing rival, Poliwhirl, with not a capital P. Don't species names have to have a capital at the beginning for proper nouns? Okay. A hard slam against its stupid swirly face. We're getting opinions in here.
By a 5-year-old?
This is obviously biased.
No, I think it's fair.
This is the most obviously subjective piece of lemon fan fiction we've read.
It's a lemon fanfiction, of course it's gonna be subjective, think about it.
Oh.
Think about it for a hard second, Adam.
It's too hard. Anyway, speaking of hard,
like
a hard slam against...
Isaac, I know you're jerking off already, be quiet.
A hard slam against its stupid swirly face knocked it clean away, toppling it against the stadium wall past its shocked trainer. A sudden silence kept Lucario, now it's capitalized with an L, still until it appeared from the level again, only to be hammer smashed to the ground by his clenched fists, leaving it in a defeated crater. Lucario and Quinn win. Who names a daughter Quinn? You can tell her parents.
Writer?
You can tell her parents wanted a boy, but was very disappointed, so took away an N from the name.
They weren't just disappointed that it wasn't a boy.
They were disappointed there was a child born at all.
Exactly. Like, oh, should we throw it away?
Gotta throw away the whole baby now. Oh my gosh! Why, we did it! Have you ever seen a video of the black guy going, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
Into it.
Oh my god! Why we did?" Quinn,
It's like I'm gonna do you in a minute.
stop.
No.
Quinn pumped her fist in the air, victorious. She then ran out to greet her friend, embracing him tightly. Wow, this is different. You're so much bigger. This is terrible. Pulling herself away, she looked down at Lucario, processing the changes from its previous form. Oh, now let's get into a scientific report. Even with the narrower face and taller, more mature stature, behind his gaze was her Pokemon. They stepped apart as they were rewarded their medals. Rewarded their medals.
How to spoken 101.
Don't be Adam. And soon the stadium started to buzz with the sound of departing Poke fans. There should be a hyphen in between that. Alright, now that we've won this thing, how about we take a victory rest, okay?
I don't want to know what that victory rest is.
We're gonna find out soon.
Please no.
They had a small campsite located just off the area, right in a small patch of wilderness, so no one could see. He nodded, grabbing her hand. Though she was his trainer, he felt obligated to be her guide as well. Overprotective at times, but still loving.
I hate that word.
Dab.
No. I will have none of this, Adam. I have none of this.
You have to
I'm
stay
back.
here. I can't be here on myself. This website is too dangerous. While her constant energy and positivity kept him on his
Adam, were you
toes.
about to say constant?
I said constant. While her constant energy and positivity kept him on his toes, a great way to bond and train, which won them the day. Why add wow? Just take away wow, and just we leave it as her. Her constant energy and positivity hit him on his toes. Wait, bond train. See, that's how this sentence is supposed to fucking go. Aren't you going to stay for the after party? The rival, whom had been defeated moments before, asked, hoping for a cheerful ending to their battle. Lucario looked behind him to see the Poliwhirl all healed up. A bad turn-off for him.
And uncapitalized P Poliwhirl.
A bad turn-off for him.
What?
And that's what it says!
You tell me he gets turned on by defeating his Poliwhirl and just, oh yeah, I'm so turned on by killing you.
I'm so angry, I'm gonna put my penis in you. Oh, no thank you. I've never been one. I've never been one for party. Okay, I thought this was one of. Oh, no thank you. I've never been for. I can't stop. Oh, no thank you. I've never been one for parties, admitted Quinn, smiling politely at her ex-opponent. But I have to say that I really had fun fighting you, and I bet our Pokemon did too. I mean, Lai seemed to enjoy it. No, he gets turned on by it.
Oh yeah. I know Isaac does too.
She giggled.
Put your penis away, Isaac, I see it.
Some random guy called Isaac's gonna watch this. Like, excuse me, what? How would you know? She giggled, squeezing on the gentle paw wrapped around her small hands. All she really wanted to do was rest, since she spent the last couple of days training, though she suspected that Rai was even more exhausted. How do you even train a Pokemon? And how would that be exhausting in any way?
I just want to ask Isaac, when's Super Mario Galaxy 2 Episode 11?
No, it's sick person. I don't get why.
Sparky plays as Isaac.
I know. But, he actually put stuff on his channel. Lucario nodded, yawning and pulling her away before she could even say goodbye. He walked straight through a crowd of instant fans who were begging for autographs and pictures.
I honestly
of the
just
new...
thought you said incest fans. That's how bad this is.
A crowd of instant ramen noodles who are begging for autographs and pictures of the new Terratown champion, completely made up. Lucario walked slower so she could sign and pose as the crowd walked with them. It felt like hours before they reached the wooded area near their campsite, and Quinn had to almost forcibly push away all the crazed fans, trying her best to remain calm. After she was sure they weren't being followed, she pushed through the branches of the nearby trees to reach the enclosed area where she was stationed at. She sighed in relief when she saw her tent was still there. Oh no, yep, someone stole my fucking tent. She reached inside and pulled out her sleeping bag, laying on top of it as she gazed up at the night sky. She glanced up at Y and patted near her. Oh, is Y a female? No, it was the guy. Ooh,
The big
yeah,
boy.
that's the wrong
Intelligent
pronoun.
Writing 101.
Hi guys, welcome to Writing 101 class with
This is the Lemon Shipyard. Okay, we're gonna teach you how to make awful writing on Wattpad. So step one, just take a character that you really like, just make it have sex with you. Make it bang you. Just juicy story content.
Juicy. Doesn't it say you got like juicy?
Big plump rump. Put it on your character right now.
If it's male, big penis. Female, big
Tight
boobs.
vagina.
Yes.
Ronan Abley, big revolver in his mouth.
6 bullets in the chamber.
Adam Knowles, huge noose. Logan Paul, camera to film it.
Yup. She glanced up at Y and patted near her, where there was plenty of room for another body. Oh, by patted near her, she meant herself. Then use herself! The Lucario smiled and tucked itself next to her, placing a paw under his pillow where he rested his head and looked at her smiling face. He knew she would keep calling him Y, which made him feel very secure. He was worried his new form would intimidate her once they were alone.
Why does he What?
He's too
I don't
big.
like where this is going.
Quinn glanced over at her friend periodically, gazing at him and the stars through the tent. She hummed a soft tune as she kicked off her heeled boots, groaning softly as she reached down and massaged the soles of her feet. Remind me never to try and look good in front of an audience again. So not worth it. In fact, the overall stiffness of her overly feminine clothes had to point that out.
I couldn't even understand you.
You have to remember to point out all the sexual aspects, no matter how much they matter. Gotta point out their.
Just her shirt was revealing the big boob.
Her shirt was tilted at a 45-degree angle, so you could see half of her cleavage.
That was very exposed due to her skin color and the color of the shirt, which you could see very prominently
And
with her curve.
And also because of the fact that she had boobs.
And if she didn't, you wouldn't see it. Just like you can't see Ronan's gun in his mouth right now because he's behind a camera, but he definitely has one in his mouth.
The overall stiffness of her overly feminine clothes scratched at her sensitive skin. She preferred dressing for comfort, not aesthetic. That was why poke contests were out of her league. What's a poke? Oh, pokey contests.
Poke contest.
Poke is an actual word, though, and I'm like, not.
Keep reading.
Lucario kept. I was about to say watch. Watch. Lucario kept ranch as she messaged her feet. They spelled massaged wrong.
Messaged her feet.
It's not my fault. Massage doesn't have an E in it. Wait, no, it does. It doesn't have an E after the M.
Just have a message to your feet. Your feet are harder than you.
Wattpad Writing 101. Make minor spelling and grammatical mistakes.
That are completely stupid.
Message
Keep
your
reading.
feet.
This whole thing's gonna be like 40 minutes.
And that's gonna be worth it. Because this is amazing. Lucario kept watch.
It's a fan fiction. No, it isn't.
But we are the funny.
But the fan fiction is not the funny. It is the horrible.
Lucario kept watch as she messaged her feet. Something he was well aware kept bothering her. He was well aware kept bothering her. There it is. There's minor grammatical mistakes.
It's like the reader got Down syndrome midway.
The omnipresent author. He sat up and crawled in front of her, putting her legs crisscross with her feet on his lap. Something he did since the first night they camped together. Pokey fashion was out of his element as well, since the outfits they gave usually felt like black linen, soaking up the sun. He nearly had a heat stroke the last time Quinn's mother tried to dress him up. Excuse me, if it's Quinn's mother, then you have an apostrophe after the proper noun, and then the S. Wattpad Writing 101. Actual Writing 101 with Adam the Knowles.
Don't be Adam Knowles, that's how you do it.
Oh.
Don't be a spaghetti eating cat.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Be a cat eating spaghetti.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Quinn purred softly, like a cat that was eating spaghetti, almost resembling that of a small skitty as she closed her eyes and smiled. Thank you.
Is that like a cute Skittle?
I'm pretty sure Skitty's a Pokemon.
Oh. Why is that one capitalized then?
I don't know. The only one that wasn't capitalized was Poliwhirl. And Lucario once. I love that juicy inconsistency.
Poliwhirl the gun in my throat.
Poliwhirl a gun around point on my face. As she closed her eyes and smiled. Thank you, Vi, she sighed, finding solace in the soft squeeze and caress of her Pokemon's large paw. In the soft squeezed and caresses. In the soft squeeze. Wattpad 101.
Keep reading.
This wasn't the first massage. Good, you spelled it right. Good for you. This wasn't This wasn't the first massage given to her by Vi, so he knew what he was doing. But the slight size change seemed to make him more reluctant, and his grip was loose. Hey, you don't have to worry about hurting me, you know, Quinn explained, opening her eyes to gaze at her
How much you
friend.
want to bet that one's gonna come back?
Oh my god. Foreshadowing. How, Wattpad Writing 101, you have to foreshadow the peenie in Vagini.
Peenie in Vagini.
Did you die? Hello, are you still there? Oh.
Anyways, back to the fan. But trust me, I'd rather be playing Fortnite.
Quinn explained, opening her eyes to gaze at her friend.
Also, to add note, I actually hate Fortnite, so
Great.
you know it's bad when I'd rather be playing Fortnite than reading
I'm gonna
this.
put that as a footnote in the video.
But ninja on the thumbnail.
I can tell you're worried about that, but remember, I'm tougher than even the strongest of men. Heck, I'm basically a guy. I even have a penis. Her curvaceous body said otherwise, but it was true. She was as tough as nails.
Not as tough as the nail that's going through my throat as we speak.
Well, if she's as tough as metal, then... If she's as tough as metal, then...
Gallium.
If she is tough as metal, then Rye must be jet fuel, because, you know, jet fuel can melt steel beams.
not to leave this time, but I hate you.
Nice.
Okay, keep reading, retard.
Rye scoffed and pressed deeper, watching her flinch a moment before putting on a sterner face. Foot fetish. Remember, Wattpad writing 101. Remember, you gotta.
Oh my god, just keep reading!
Yeah, the way I put in a fetish. That's it. He could feel himself stronger now. He could feel himself stronger. Oh yeah.
Sure that isn't his erection?
She may have strength, but her small feet might not. He rubbed.
My gun may have strength, but I certainly don't have the strength to pull the trigger right now.
I
wish I did.
He rubbed her calluses until she seemed satisfied and stood up, walking out of the tent to make sure no Pokemon hunters were around. Pokemon hunters? Okay, this universe is getting kind of dark. Just first in a tent? Wait, to shoot up some bees?
I hope they're in Camp Crystal Lake, to be honest. That sounds fun.
Pokemon history. Remember to respect Pokemon and their history. Lucarios were actually used to pick the cotton fields in the olden days.
I can't breathe!
He wasn't caught off guard as easily as those naive Team Rocket proper noun Pokemon proper noun. There's no capitalization on that.
You go.
When Rye explored outside, Quinn took the time to shed herself of the uncomfortable layers covering her body. She despised the color pink, but her mother insisted she wear it if she were to premiere on television, as many did when fighting in tournaments. She was then stripped almost bare, oh god, except that of a matching pair of panties and a dark black bra. A matching pair of panties. Is she wearing two pairs of panties right now?
Both.
Yes, both of them. She then rummaged around her bag, looking for a pair of pajamas. Who wears pajamas when they're over the age of 10?
Both.
No. Shuffling in the tent alerted Rye she was changing, something he kept himself distant from after hearing about the trainer caught in the tree trunk. After hearing about the trainer caught in the tree trunk after being kidnapped by a Pikachu on the news. How does this relate? I don't get it.
I don't know either.
Though he always found himself similarly tempted, he knew it would risk his partnership with her. I see. It described in the next sentence. They actually know how to write in the next sentence to lead to the previous sentence. What is this? Good writing? In my fanfiction? No. Decent sentence format in my fanfiction? He was, after all, an investment her dad gave her to make cash out of any success they would achieve by branding their fighting talents. So he was basically just a... Why are they going into in-depth about a plot in this universe? Why are they putting effort? They're putting effort. They're putting effort into a fucking fan fiction, a lemon fan fiction.
Okay, just keep reading. I don't want to choke on laughter with the next thing you say.
Yawning softly, Quinn pulled out a rather lacy-looking nightgown and slipped it over her body. Though with her boyish approach, many would assume she wouldn't wear something so feminine and revealing. But to her, those was the most comfortable. Those was the most comfortable. Those pajamas.
Those pajamas was the most comfortable.
Those was the most comfortable outfit to sleep in, since it was
Excuse
the closest. Those was the most comfortable outfit to sleep in, since it was the closest to naked she could get in these parts. Excuse me, what?
Can you not be naked though? Like, maybe you can figure out a way.
Can you like?
Like,
Can
you know, speaking of that, just destroy this whole fan fiction.
Can you like put on a onesie, please? I can't wait for the story to end with her and Lucario went to sleep and nothing sexual happened in the end. That'll be like the optimal solution.
That'll be the solution that I pray for.
She laid back, stretching her legs out in front of her. Did you find anything cool up there, or are you hiding from me? She joked. Vi put a knuckle of his paw into his mouth. His smell was stellar compared to most Pokemon. What? Oh, I mean, his sense of smell. Let's say sense of smell. I thought it was like what he smells like.
That's some good smell.
Oh, yeah.
What?
What?
Adam?
Moaning? His smell was stellar compared to most Pokemon. He could smell the thin layer hardly masking her scent. He took a deep breath and returned to find her in the light salmon pajamas he was used to seeing most nights. She looked so small now. Him growing really made him feel even more able to know. Excuse me, what? Excuse me, what? This is not. He had to keep himself controlled. She was his trainer, and that was all. He returned next to her with his legs spread in the blanket, covering them both. Excuse me. Oh, fuck.
Excuse me, but I want to die. Is there a legal way I can die?
Suicide isn't illegal.
Shut up, Adam.
Oblivious to Vi's thoughts, Quinn snuggled closer to her fluffy companion furry, who was now even more soft than before.
Her furry companion furry.
Her Burger King burger.
And her foot lettuce.
Foot massage lettuce. You're so warm, she exclaimed, bouncing a bit as she scooted closer.
Can you not?
Why do I have to explain how she was bouncing a bit? She leaned against a Pokemon, closing her eyes as she relaxed against him. She was still larger, but he felt monstrously large to her, and I hate the euphemisms here. And it awed her how different he really was physically. She reached over and playfully flicked at as his ear. Just like old times. As his ear.
As his ear.
Why is there effort into the exposition of this?
Because they want to get to the juicy part that I don't want to get to, but we inevitably have to.
The person who's putting effort into writing this
needs to die.
Yeah. Gotta get my 10 gauge shotgun.
Yeah, I know. Keep reading.
Vi flinched and buried himself into her body. Now he knew what holding a teddy was like. His large frame could completely surround and protect her from whatever chill tried to catch her. She was tan. The sun beating on her from weeks on end slowly turned her from the pale indoor dreamer into a tan, silver-headed girl with more dreams than ever. He rubbed his nuzzle against her warm hair, something she did to him when he was a Ryalu, without proper noun, without a capital. It was surprisingly comforting to be held like this. She recognized the familiar nuzzling as her own, and giggled a bit as she realized it really was a nice and friendly gesture. She only pulled away when she went to adjust her straps as they began to fall down her shoulders. Her bright round eyes almost seemed to shine softly. Seemed to shine softly in the soft moonlight. What's the fucking... Use soft twice in a sentence, and then it used the fucking wrong tense. Shined is the fucking... That's the present tense, isn't it?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Just finish it. I don't want to read this anymore.
As well as the silver gray of her short brown hair. And by the way, you're not reading it. I'm the one who's fucking reading it.
Yeah, but it's painful to listen to. I'm already going through withdrawal from reading the last one.
Vi moved back to see her adjusting her strap, with a sudden urge filling him as her hand pulled it up. He laid his paw over her hand where the strap stayed halfway on her shoulder. A long pause filling the hair before he slowly pulled it down. Nani? It was a strange gesture, and Quinn looked at her shoulder in wonder. Is there something on my arm? She asked, but the answer was there when she saw nothing. She gazed quizzically at the other, whose eyes were narrowed a bit more than what was normal for Lucario. Hey, are you okay, Lai? Does something hurt? She began to examine him excessively, brushing her hands over his body to make sure he didn't have an open wound. Did she need more potions? Lucario realized he was crossing the line. He hadn't done too much yet, but realized his act would cause questions if left lingering. He was stuck frozen until her exploring hands reached his ears again. A wave of lust, goddammit. A wave of lust caused his...
Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
R-A-P-E. Get your penis,
Get your penis out of me. No, thank you.
A wave of lust caused his muzzle to plant itself on her lips. His paws loosened a bit more.
Mom spaghetti.
Stop. A small squeak, knees weak, arms are heavy, was the only noise Quinn made before being pressed harshly against her eye. She wasn't exactly sure what to do, as her experiences with this sort of thing were far and few between. The other rather odd problem was that she was sort of enjoying it. Oh my god. The warmth of another being was comforting, if not arousing. She opened her eyes wide as she felt her bra slip off with some assistance, and whimpered a bit when she was exposed. Oh god, I hate this. Rio's paw, a proper possessive noun without an apostrophe, Rio's paw, gripped her biceps as his mouth lingered against hers, slowly moving himself to where his legs had surrounded her while he slowly undressed her. Oh god, I hate this. If she fought back, he would stop immediately, but he wouldn't be able to look at her again if she didn't feel like he did. Her body shivered as the cold air brushed against her skin, but moved with Rai, helping him expose her body to him. Her heart raced as the touching between them grew more heated, and the kisses became more eager. Surprisingly, there was no sense of disgust for Quinn, only the unrelenting need to please her partner. She wasn't exactly sure what to do, besides letting her hands explore her Pokemon's body. Her hands gripped at Vi's arms, squeezing lightly only to discover that there was dense muscle. She shivered as she realized the real power this Pokemon possessed. I hate this.
How to arousing.
How to arouse. His mouth opened, slowly reaching his tongue into her mouth.
Stop!
It seemed consensual, hopefully. Soon his wide hips were between hers, resting his junk as he enjoyed her scent and smooth skin, molesting and kissing her... Molesting? Molesting and kissing her intensely. How hard do you think Isaac's masturbating right now?
Probably a lot. He tells me Tommy Wiseau's gay, so I know he likes this kind of stuff.
Can't wait for the comment that says, "Shut up about me, you ninny fuck, penis head." A sound that resembled a purr escaped Quinn as she felt the warmth poking against her hip. The warmth, does that mean his penis?
Probably.
Just call it a fucking dick. Don't be a pussy. Or a
Please
dick.
do.
She pressed herself closer until he was virtually poking at her entrance. Her underwear were still intact though, so the soft black soap was the only barrier keeping the two apart. She whined softly, pushing against him again, essentially begging for the other to ravish her. Oh, I hate the word ravish. It sounds like radish.
Horseradish.
Put your horseradish in me.
No!
She could feel the dampness of her panties. Oh god. Which was a signal of her own arousal. Something quite new to her. Never before has she ever been quite so flustered.
Man, the taste of this gunmetal really sucks, you know?
You know, if only I could, end it by pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
He could smell her sweat and moisture in her panties. Oh, something about it... Did you leave again?
No!
No? Okay, I thought you were getting up. Something about it made his body shiver. A small pant heated up the entire blanket as his member grew. Member, there it is. There's the word of the day, everybody. Member. is great. Perfect.
I'm done throwing a temper tantrum.
Penis.
Thanks.
You're welcome. A small pant heated up the entire blanket as his member grew, pressing against her pelvis. Gwah!
Oi, oi, bruv.
Oi, oi, bruv. You want me to stick my lonk in you, bruv?
My lung.
Oi, oi, bruv. You want me to stick my ham sandwich in you, bruv?
Okay, keep going, idiot.
You hamwol. He moved it out of the way, exposing her slit for him. He nuzzled her nose against his, comforting her. I hate just everything. Groaning under her breath, Quinn pushed against Rye, her hips desperately reaching for his, waiting to be pounded against. Oh my god.
Oh.
Warning. Bestiality. Warning. Warning.
Warning. Crappy writer. Warning.
The worst things that are not a crappy writer, it's only the content.
That makes him terrible.
There's content and presentation, and the presentation is fucking good, except for the minor grammatical and spelling mistakes. Like,
are we forgetting the fact that it's literally bestiality?
That's the content section, idiot. I was talking about presentation, penis hole.
Vagina slit. 12-inch member.
Hamwol? She glanced down, preventing a yelp as she saw the actual size of his malehood.
Image of Corey in the house.
Yeah.
Wishing you in the cotton field.
Yeah.
That's me right now.
You gotta put that in the video.
I will, don't worry.
She was a bit wary of the sheer size, but at the same time she wanted inside her. Now. Gazing up at her friend and making eye contact only made her whine more, as his expression told her he wanted her as much as she. Please, why? She breathed, again pushing down on his pelvic region, calling his penis. Oh. They always avoid using the actual direct words, and instead use member and pelvic region. What's wrong?
Just say it.
Like, just say the penis. By the way, before I started reading fanfiction, I've never heard the word member before. Rye licked her face as he thrust himself into her, little by little, until he fit. She was tight, really tight. Soon he had himself balls deep inside her. Oh my god, I hate this. Oh my god. This is terrible.
It is.
Okay, soon he had himself balls deep inside her, pushing her against the sleeping bag, making those uncomfortable tent noises that punctured his ears. That's what's important, the tent. He wrapped his paws around her and held her up from the mattress, keeping her body arched as he shoved himself in and out at the rate of a car engine. And that's a nice metaphor. But it's so terrible. It was extremely hard, like his penis, to keep quiet when an animal with the strength of this Lucario possessed pounded into you with no hesitancy at all. Good thing there were only woods to hear her squeals and gasps. Her fingers gripped so hard onto Rye's. Are you gonna walk away again or no?
Oh, it hurts.
Her fingers gripped so hard on the vise fur that her knuckles turned white, and her shoulders quivered as each thrust seemed harsher than the last. Her whole body seemed to hum as every nerve in her lower body roared in ecstasy. There was pain, yes, but that mixed with the pleasure each thrust rewarded her was worth it. Rye panted with unstoppable force as his hips thrust deeper. The slapping of his body against hers only made him more desperate. A year and a half of waiting, and this is where it happens. He didn't understand why she hardly put up a fight, but he didn't care. His tongue oozed out as he growled. Why would he growl, and is his tongue liquid?
Yes.
I love how I can't make wave responses. You're just like, yes.
I can't process this, okay? It's really hard.
Just, yes.
It's so bad.
Aurora Borealis?
May I see it?
No. He fell on top of her and flipped her over him as he flusted. What's with all the fucking pronouns? Oh no, he feel on top of her. He feel on top of her and flipped her over him as he flusted. Oh, that is 5 pronouns in the same sentence. He feel on top of her and flipped her over him as he flusted. Holy shit. That's 5. He wanted to see her body, every facial expression, every drop of salty sweat as he had her. Alliteration. She was his, not a master or owner like other trainers thought themselves. He was the master, the owner. He was given to do a job, and this was his reward.
Is his job pounding her into submission? Yes. Just like this gun's job is to end my suffering right now?
That was worded like it was an evil villain coming to Vise in a story. Like, he was the master, the owner. He was given to do a job, and this was his reward. Like this, maybe like from a good book about an evil villain, and not one about Lucario pounding someone. Her hands gripped for something, anything to gain leverage to, and ended up squeezing the sleeping bag with tight fingers. Her body rocked back and forth from Li's sheer force. Her breasts had to point out the boobs. Remember Wattpad 101, boob. That's it. Her breasts bobbing up and down in unison with the thrusts. She bit her bottom lip as she suppressed another annoyingly loud squeal, and squeezed her eyes shut tightly, feeling a small warmth start to build up from her lower stomach area. Oh.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no. Why? Why? This is not.
Keep reading. Just get it over with. We're so close.
That's when she heard the other start to growl and pant, only feeling another wave of arousal. His animalistic nature dominated both her and himself. A long time passed as Vi had his fun with her. He actually came twice already, but couldn't stop. He had her in his lap, still thrusting, both soaking, dripping messes. She was getting close, he could tell. The scent of her buildup was intoxicating, and he tried to feel it. It would be warm, so warm, he licked her everywhere. Her neck, boobs, nipples, sides, shoulders, among other parts. Her most sensitive seemed to be the small gap between her cheeks and ears, which caused her to moan uncontrollably, which he continued to lick.
That's such a random spot!
That's not really
That's not really place that makes me...
That's not really random, because that's the point where a muscle is. The muscle is the same one the pulse can be felt in, because there are 2 bones that separate that part, and then there's a big...
Oh man, the place if you lick me, where I feel the most arousal, is actually my toe. My toenail, to be exact.
No, in between my big and not big toe.
My big and not big toe, Adam.
Yeah. I forget what name of the second largest toe.
The toe.
Oh. This little piggy makes me moan the fuck out.
Yay.
Quinn tilted her neck in invitation, pant heavily as her body began to move on its own, pressing her hips harder against the Lucario, trying again a couple more thrusts before going over the edge. Vi's tongue again glided. Yes, a period, not a comma. Boom. Vi's tongue again glided. Is glided spelled right? I think it is. Glided over against her jawline, stopping once to flick her ear and even nibble at it. Stop. It was all too much. Crying out with wide eyes, Quinn's body reached climax, the buildup finally releasing itself. Breathless, the trainer fell back down into a sleeping bag, panting like a dog. Lucario panted with her. He could see the moisture dripping down the tent walls from their experience. Oh my god. Why?
Come over the tent?
Oh no, not over the tent.
Oh, this tent turns me on. It's not even the trainer, it's the tent.
He just like flows between her side, starts fucking the tent.
No, I just wanted a real life flashlight.
He closed his eyes happily with all of his relief, drifting him off into half sleep, being greeted with another kiss from Quinn climbing on top of him. She curled up in his embrace, finding solace in his scent and fur. This wasn't exactly how she planned the night to go, let alone letting anything like this happen, before she too drifted off into a well-deserved sleep.
Well, I might as well just go hang myself on the suicide forest. Hopefully, freaking Logan's won't find me. Oh, God.